Hello, everyone, and welcome to the daily newspaper analysis, which is brought to you by LawSikho. So, today we have one article for our discussion, which has been taken from the Hindu newspaper that talks about the fair trial, and it says that it goes beyond the courts to the police and media. So, basically, somehow it talks about the media trial as well. Then we have the news update and legal news for the day. So this article says that recently the Chief Justice of India objected to the lack of accountability for the media in the way legal issues are covered. Basically, we all know about this, that whenever there is any sensational case that comes to the judiciary, so this is our media that brings out the picture towards the people. But what we need to note here is the media able to bring the right and true picture, or actually it is colored, or it is made a lot more sensationalized, or just a lot of what we call as the masala is added to the entire news. So in this situation, what happens is that the minds of the people as well as of the judiciary dealing with that particular case gets hampered, and also it gets polluted to a great extent. So the remarks of the CGI come in less than a month since the news mediums took the words of Delhi police before the verdict regarding bail of Alt News co-founder was even pronounced in the open court. Now, actually, what happened was, as we know, we already had discussed this entire case, that the presenter, the owner of the Alt News co-founder, basically, a case was going on against him. But in this regard, what happened was that the media, instead of waiting for the right judgment to come well within time, they relied on what the Delhi police had narrated according to themselves. Now, in this situation, what happens is that the real facts that could have taken place or that could have been considered by the court, they get subsided. And on the other hand, what comes out or what is served to the people as piece of news is what actually the police or the other agencies believe in. And this is why what happens is that the people tend to develop their mindset in a rather negatively or an unwantedly positively manner regarding that particular case. So in criminal cases, the main interest of the news mediums lies in the investigations and early trial stages, and not the verdict, which often comes years after the said incident. And this makes the police a very crucial source of information for the media. See, of course, we know that we need to wait for the judgments to come, right? Now, in that situation, the media definitely is very, impatient, and we also, as listeners and as also the consumers of news, we need to know, we desire to know, every step of the trial that is going on. In this situation, we often see various kinds of interviews, the short interviews that the media takes, whether for the policemen, from the policemen, or the advocates that are taking part in that particular case, and so on and so forth. You must have seen that in various movies also these kinds of scenes have been depicted, wherein the advocate or the police, they move out from a particular building or somewhat, or a minister comes out, and the media rushes towards those people to ask questions about the ongoing case. Now, similar is the incident that has been pointed out over here. Now, unregulated divulgence of case details by an eager police force and disproportionate reliance on this information by the media results in a public stripping of the rights that typically accompany a fair trial. You must have noticed that even when there was this sad incident of the suicide, or let's say murder, or whatever, alleged murder or suicide of the very famous actor Sushant Singh Rajput, so a great toll of media trial was going on. In that situation, the policemen, the media person, they had all come up forward, and they were pointing out at different people, and they were building up their own stories of investigation. Due to this, what happens is that a fair trial gets hampered very, very significantly. So the police narratives are sometimes designed to achieve political goals, and the media's ready acceptance of these narratives does little to prevent the insidious effects. Yes, of course, we know, because how much can we really believe that what the police is saying? See, it could be a perception of that particular individual as well, or even it could have any kind of political goal or any kind of political, wish to be fulfilled, any agenda to be fulfilled, that for that matter as well. Also, in the Bhima Koregaon case of 2018, the police exposed the letter reportedly written by the arrested activists. However, none of them were actually raised as an evidence in the court of law. So if you remember, in 2018, there was this Bhima Koregaon violence case. Actually, what happened was that on 1st of January, celebrations were going on the 200th anniversary of the Bhima Koregaon battle. Amid the celebrations, a lot of a riotous situation or a violent situation sprung up, due to which the violence took place. And what happened was that one youth and he was killed and several others were injured. Now, in this situation, what happened was that police came up with some allegedly written letters by the arrested activists. But we need to remember that so much those letters were sensationalized by the police and the media, but still they were not even taken. Not a single one of them was taken as a piece of evidence in the court of law. So we can understand that how hollow was that entire story. So most police departments do not have dedicated media cells, making minor officials authoritative sources of information. Now, see, of course, we know that the people who are really busy with the investigation often get very less time to interact with the media. Now, it comes down to various other officials that are there at maybe lower ranks, or the minor officials in the department that have a lot of leisure time, perhaps, to talk with the media, and that is why they come up with their own stories many a times. Now, with an increasing call for media regulation, media institutions should look inward actually, to find an answer to what is essentially an ethical crisis. And we should understand, as we also know, guys, that Edmund Burke had described that media is the fourth pillar of democracy. And that is why we should be making sure that it is very pure, pious, and it caters to serving only the real and founded news. And that is why it should definitely work on the lines of professional ethics. With this, let's see what do we have for news update today. Firstly, Nitish to form Grand Alliance in Bihar. So the RJD and Congress have submitted letter to support Nitish Kumar to form the government. The decision to part ways with BJP was taken at the Janata Dal's legislators party meeting, which was chaired by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Secondly, Oliva Newton has passed away. So, Australian singer whose breathy voice and wholesome beauty made her one of the biggest pop stars of the 70s and charmed the generations of viewers in the blockbuster movie Grease, died at the age of 73, according to a statement from her husband. Thirdly, Biofuel Day. So today, that is the 10th of August, we have the World Biofuel Day, and it is celebrated in the memory of Sir Rudolf Diesel, who was the inventor of diesel engine. On August 9, in 1893, Sir Rudolf Diesel for the first time operated a mechanical engine with peanut oil. This is a very good piece of information. Please definitely keep it in your mind. Fourthly, 44th Chess Olympiad concluded in Chennai. So the 44th Chess Olympiad 2022 concluded in Chennai with the closing ceremony. So after a dramatic finish, Uzbekistan won the open event and Ukraine claimed gold of the women's tournament. Here is a small task for you all. As we all know that there are these countries, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and all, which are very, all the Tan nations, which we generally call them as. So can you tell me the name of all the neighboring nations that are there somewhere around Uzbekistan? If you know the names, let me know in the comment section below. Let's see what do we have for legal updates today. Firstly, convenience of wife must be looked into while transferring proceedings in matrimonial disputes, says the Kerala High Court. So the Kerala High Court recently allowed a transfer petition, observing that it is the convenience of the woman and children that have to be looked into while ordering the transfer of a case from one court to another in matrimonial cases. This was held in the case of Jincy K versus Vivek M.P. This was all for today. We hope you liked the session. Thank you so much for staying tuned with LawSikho. If you wish to download the PDF of today's slides, you can join our Telegram channel. The link to our channel is there in the description box below, or you can simply scan this QR code that you can see on your screens right now. Thank you so much.